Welcome back to the moral decay of America. And for any American that doesn't know what's going on out there in the Gulf of Mexico here, let me give you a brief recap. But if you're sensitive, please leave. I don't need that audience. Just go ahead and get the hell on out of here. I'm going to hurt your feeling. So, let's recap. Just a couple of weeks ago, you've had Hurricane Helene. I think that's how you properly say it. Helen, who gives a damn? Hurricane H. And it really put the southeastern part of the United States in a conundrum. Now, you've got Hurricane Milton, which is fixing to beat the shit out of the state of Florida. And in the meantime, you got this dusty mophead here, KJP, the DEI hire of the Biden administration, another DEI hiring of the Biden administration, trying to justify that Congress needs to come together to approve funding for the United States citizens, but Lebanon can just get a check because the president signed the paper. So this is where things kind of get confusing for me. You're going to have a Fox News reporter ask the similar question to Miss KJP here, and she doesn't want to answer the question. And to me, the simple question was, how can the president just openly write a check to those who are suffering in Lebanon, but we have to wait for Congress to assemble to give more funding to our own citizens? And she's asking Congress to act. So let's go through this whole press review here, and y'all can see the question, see how she dances around it, and then 2 minutes later, she's basically saying, hey, I don't like the question that you're asking because the way you're asking it, you are making it sound like disinformation. But to me, it's a pretty straightforward question. Why do we need Congress to approve additional funding for our own citizens, but the president didn't have to have Congress to send money to Lebanon? And so it's just a fair and valid question. Whether there's a policy or a process, whatever it is, we got our own citizens to be concerned about. Our own citizens, your brethren, your sisters, everybody in the United States that's been impacted by these hurricanes that can't be prevented need help. And if we need Congress to provide that help, so be it. But why is Lebanon getting twice the amount of money and Congress is not needed? So I think there's some understanding that needs to go on there, but more importantly, it's perception that's the problem. It's a optics problem. When the optics are that we need Congress to assemble to agree to funding for natural disasters, but when a foreign country says, hey, you got $500 million you can send me, and the president can write a check, there's some bad optics there, without a shadow of a doubt. So let's listen to the question, and then let's go over the response real quick. So here we go. Here's the question.
On this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back. But Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Here's what I'm...
So again, to me, that's a pretty damn simple question. What is the policy? What is the procedure? And why is it that we have to have such discrepancies to help ourselves? And it takes longer. So listen to Ms. KJP's response here. This is entertaining, folks.
I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million.
$200 million.
That we have directly
How much
put
went to
towards
Lebanon?
survivors here.
How much went to Lebanon? More than double that. Didn't need Congress. More than double that amount and did not need Congress for their relief in Lebanon. Help me understand that. Here we go. Let's keep going.
For disaster help, and that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously. Again, we take this very seriously. And before the hurricane hit, we pre-positioned more than 1,500 federal folks on the ground to help, and so.
1,500 to help a displaced 10 million. Come on, you've got to have 40,000 linemen working the electrical issues, and you're going to deploy 1,500. Come on, it needs to be far greater than that. The effort needs to be far greater. Here we go. We're going to continue on.
We have made sure that every state has gotten their storm requested emergency declaration. They requested it, and we made sure they received it. We've taken this very seriously. More than $200 million that we have provided to the impacted areas. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous. Because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need.
Now, see, that makes absolutely no sense. If folks need help, they're going to ask for the help. That response right there just blows all of this completely out of water. I just can't believe Dirty Mophead here says, oh, hey, I'm homeless because of a natural disaster, and I'm going to be afraid to ask for help. Said nobody in their right mind ever. So talk about disinformation or misinformation. Come on, KJP. You can do a better story than that. Here, let's keep on going here.
That is there for them. That's our focus here.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it.
Boom. So there's question number 2. If the president has money right now without Congress having to come back to approve before he sends your tax dollars to the people of Lebanon, then why does Congress have to come back to get our own citizens the money they need, the relief they need? Listen to this Dirty Mophead here's response. It's just disgusting. What? Listen.
That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to. People are deciding not to.
Wait. To Congress that there's not enough money to help people
We're
in North
talking
Carolina.
about the SBA disaster loan.
That's
yes.
money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief.
Right there. We got to wait now for Congress to come back together to get disaster relief funds approved. But yet, funds can get approved without Congress for Lebanon. And why would we send them to Lebanon when they are the ones attacking Israel and whatnot? So that's a mixed message to our greatest ally over there in the Middle East. Something about that sounds suspect. But let's finish watching her response here. Check this out. Here she goes.
Asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
The letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation.
The way you're asking me a question is misinformation. What the hell kind of answer is that? He clearly asked you, what's the process and why is the president's letter good for Lebanon but not good for our own citizens? That's what he's asking you, for crying out loud, you stupid ass. Golly, why do you want to not answer the question? Y'all are going to love the way she finishes too. Check this out.
There's money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I said that, I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now, there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be.
That's true.
And so we're going to need additional funding.
That's exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was misinformation. Yes.
What you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job.
But there you go. She's once again not answering the question of a policy or a process. Why does Congress need to come back to approve funding to our own citizens, but yet the president can just write the check for relief in Lebanon? Yeah. Y'all be careful out there. They walk amongst us.